Evan McDaniel here at Fit Studios. We're going to take a step back and kind of change our thought process from thinking about the science and what exactly we need to do to then figuring out what we're going to do to maintain the change and facilitate the most important part, which is a long-term change. If you get in really good shape in 6 weeks and you lose a bunch of weight and you really haven't changed exactly how you're doing things on a day-to-day basis and changed what you're doing consistently, those results are gonna go away very quickly. So we have to figure out what we're doing to facilitate a long-term change. Now, a lot of times people are only worried about the result, okay? We're gonna backtrack a little bit because the results only come from our actions. There is absolutely no other way to get a result. You have to change things. If you want to lose weight, you have to change what you're eating. You have to change your exercise habits. It does not just come magically. So, if you've seen a little bit of change and the first couple months goes by and you haven't then made maybe another minor change, you're going to continue to get the same result, which generally is going to be a maintenance. So we have to continually figure out what we're doing. Now, if you're familiar with our philosophy at all, we have a three-tiered process. We have the meal plans that we give you to make sure you're eating right. We have the boot camp sessions that you come into, our 30-minute workouts, and then we have the HIIT, which is our cardiovascular program. Check out videos on kind of these other components that we do. This is just talking about kind of wrapping it all together and getting a result that we want long term. If we haven't changed all three of these results are going to be very minimal. And that's just the truth there. So we have to figure out exactly what we're doing to get a result that we want. And this comes from day-to-day change. Motivation, willpower, these are in like fairy tale make-believe land. My art skills are fantastic, that's a cloud, okay? So if willpower and motivation are over here, okay? And you're just working out when you're really motivated or only when willpower is really high, like I'm gonna do it no matter what, this is very fleeting. These are emotional states. These are not physical changes that we're making. This is in make-believe land. The actions that we do on a daily basis are in the real world. These do not lead to a result, okay? You can't think your way through changing. You actually have to produce an action. You have to change how you're working out. You have to change what you're eating. You have to do some cardio to get a result. Make-believe land does not get you a result, okay? You can want to work out as much as anybody, but if you don't actually do it, you're not going to get anywhere, okay? So too often we're only focused on the results. We're not focused on changing our actions. We're only focused, hey, did I lose my 30 pounds? Nope. Okay, cool. Well, I scrap it, and then I'm on. Now, our whole program is set to lose about a pound of fat per week. If you're doing all three of these pretty good, you're going to lose about a pound of fat a week, which is really good. And what will happen is, okay, let's say somebody starts out, and we'll simplify. If you guys did math in school, you're going to follow this pretty good. So, somebody starts out the first month, they show up really well, they change maybe a little bit of their diet, and they kind of start doing this. So let's say their boot camp, they're showing up 100%, their meal plan's about 60%, and let's say they're doing HIIT maybe once a week, which is about, 20% of what I want, okay? So, at the end of the month, action 1, result 1, maybe they lose 4 pounds, okay? These actions led to this result. Now, let's say another month goes by. They did the exact same thing. They know that that's going to maintain this change. So maybe they got a 0 pound change because we haven't produced another change. We haven't increased this a little bit, maybe up to 25%, or maybe this to 70%, maybe eating a little better, working out a little harder here. Then if we did that, this would be a little better change. We're focused on the action side of it, understanding that the results are a derivative of the actions that we do, okay? If you want to facilitate a long-term change, you can't just work out when you kind of want to. You can't just work out when your friend wants to do it. You absolutely have to get this out of your head that motivation and willpower are in make-believe land. It's not going to change anything. It comes from the actions you do. You have to do this to achieve a result. You know, maybe they did really good here, up this, and maybe they lost 6 pounds of fat. You know, maybe they went above and beyond and they were closer to 100% across the board. That's because you're focused on the actions that you do. If you're eating a bunch of garbage and drinking a bunch of booze, you're not going to get the result that you want. But if you're then really motivated for a couple weeks and you do really good, and then that changes and you just scrap everything, we kind of got to get back and focus on the actions. Takes change to create change. There's absolutely no other way. You can't wish it, you can't hope it, you can't want it. You actually have to perform the action. So, if you want to change long term, you're going to have to get out of bed when you don't want to. You're going to have to run a little faster than you probably don't feel like it. You're going to have to work out when you're sore. My muscles right now from a hike I did are so sore I can hardly walk. I'm going to go work out after this because that's what I have to do to facilitate the results that I want, okay? It's not about what somebody else wants. It's not when my motivation or willpower is really high. It's just the fact that we have to develop these actions to create the change that we want on a consistent basis. So, don't think about willpower, don't think about motivation. Start thinking about, what do I have to do on a daily basis? You have to run, you have to show up, and you have to eat better. There's no other way around it. So, pretty simple. If you have any questions, you can always email me, evan@fitstudios.net. I really want you to think about this. Your actions create the results. You can't think it, you can't feel it, you can't wish it, you can't hope it. You have to frickin' do it. So, have a good day.